This video I'm gonna show you how you can use these images to create this one. I use my own photo for this. I'll link all these images in the description so you can use those, or you can just use your own image if you want. And before I start this video, make sure to check out Rose Gold and Black. They have some cool jewelry there, and the necklace that I'm wearing in this video is from them. Alright, now this is the size I will be working in. This is 2 times the size of Instagram, and the resolution doesn't matter here. Just make sure you have these settings. And let's start off with this brick wall. So I'm gonna copy this part. I'm only gonna use this part of it, so I'm just gonna copy that and put this here. Convert to smart object so we don't ruin the quality, and let's flip this horizontal. Let's move it to the left and make sure it fits the image. And now I want to get rid of this little piece here, so I'm gonna use the quick selection tool here and make like this selection. After that we're gonna press this to make a mask, and forgot these pieces here. And now we can import our tiger. Let's see, this one I'm gonna show you exactly how I cut out animals, so you can use this method all the time. And I'm not gonna cut this out at once. I'm just gonna copy this first because I only want to use his head, and paste it here behind this layer. Now let's make a smart object again, and let's flip this horizontal. So I want to make this tiger watching behind this wall, and it's a little bit too big, so let's resize this first like that. Now I want to make sure this tiger is like watching that way, so I'm gonna change the eye of it. Let's first put this in position, I think something like this. Alright, let's change this eye. So what I'm gonna do here is select the clone stamp tool, and now we need to rasterize this. So press right mouse, rasterize again, or else we can't edit this. So select the clone stamp tool and make like this round thing around this eyes. Hold down Alt and press 1 time. After that you can move it around. You can even make this a little bit bigger, like that. So now he's like watching that way. It's exactly how I want it. And now we can remove this background. I'm gonna make a smart object again, and let's use the pen tool here. So I'm gonna start here and make like this raw selection. I'm not sure if these whiskers here are gonna work, so I'm gonna try it. And if it doesn't work, I'm just gonna draw them again with the pen tool. So first make this selection. So once you got a selection, just press right mouse, make selection, and make sure to leave the feather at 1 pixel, because I don't want a hard edge, I want it a little bit soft. Now you can make a mask, and as you can see it doesn't look right. So let's first make a solid color here and use gray so we can see this better, like that. And let's press on this mask here of the tiger, press right mouse and select the mask. And now we use this brush here, and let's brush these edges of it, so you can see this fur is coming out really nice now. And alright, this is a tricky part, so I'm gonna check if this is gonna work. As you can see, this works really well, but we need to do a little bit of editing here to make sure it doesn't look black but white. So first let's do this, and let's drop the shift edge a little bit so we get rid of the edge just slightly. Press OK, and now I want to make sure this fur is like black instead of gray, so create a new layer on top of it, select the right mouse and create a clipping mask. And now we want to select the white brush, maybe a little bit of grayish like this fur, so something like white, light gray. And let's drop the opacity, let's say around 50%, and also the flow, and let's brush these edges like that, and the same goes for these whiskers. It's maybe too white now, so I'm gonna make it slightly darker here. Alright, let's import our background, and this is our background, and let's put this behind all these layers. We don't need this one anymore also. And now we want to make a smart object here and resize this. Right, this is fine for now, and what I'm gonna do now is blur this out. So I'm gonna go to blur gallery and I'm gonna use field blur here because I want to create some bokeh in this background also. So field blur, and we can really blur this out. We don't need this background, we need all our focus on this tiger here and this brick wall. And let's add some light bokeh here, so we have a little bit of light popping from the background. Alright, this is okay, and press enter. Alright, now I want to make sure this blends all well together, so we need to edit the color of this and the lighting here. So let's start with this brick wall here. It's way too red, so I'm gonna create a hue and saturation on top of it. Press this so we only affect this layer, and let's drop the saturation. Now I can also drop the lightness slightly. It's a little bit too light, like that. And let's add some curves to it, so we can adjust the lighting here, and also press this, and let's darken this, make this dark like that, and drop the middles a little bit so we have some contrast, some more contrast. Alright, and now I want to make sure this color is right, so I'm gonna create a color balance here, and also press this, don't forget that, and let's make it a little bit more red yellowish, because our background is like yellow red and this is too red, so I want to make it a little bit more yellow. Alright, this looks fine for now. I'm gonna put this in one folder, so I'm just selecting all the layers while holding down shift and create on this folder. So this is our brick wall. Now let's edit this tiger. He's way too light here, so need to do some editing. So first I'm gonna select both layers, press Ctrl E so they are rasterized. Let's make a smart object again, and let's start off with curves so we can adjust the lighting. Press this again, and let's make them dark first, and drop the midtones. Now I want to select the normal brush, and I want to make some areas lighter again, so I'm gonna use a black brush here, just a normal brush. Make sure to bring the opacity flow all the way up again, and let's brush these parts lighter. Because we have lighting from this background, so I want to make sure one side of his head is light, and I'm gonna leave that side a little bit darker, like that. And now we can do some dodge and burn, so I'm gonna create a new layer on top of it, create a clipping mask, go to edit fill, and select 50% gray. Press OK and change the blending mode to overlay. So now we have a separate layer that we can use for the burn. So I'm gonna use the burn tool here. So let's start off with burn here. Mid highlights first, around 50%, maybe a little bit less if he's white. So maybe like 40%, and let's make some areas darker. So while we're doing this, we are making this image really softer than it is. These areas here, this side. Now we can do some midtones here, drop the exposure, and a little bit more here. And final, some shadows. don't want to do this too much, because if you do this too much, you just ruin the image. Alright, that looks fine, and let's create a new layer on top of it. Create a clipping mask again, and go to edit fill. Choose 50% gray again. Change it to overlay, and this time I'm gonna do some dodge, so we can make some areas lighter, especially this side. Oh, let's bring this up. I also want to make this eye really visible, so let's start off with this eye here, this nice blue eye of him, like that. And let's do these parts here. You can drop the exposure here, and let's select shadows and highlights. For the highlights, I'm gonna do like only the edge of this tiger, maybe here. Alright, that's already too much, so I need to drop this exposure. Just brush some parts lighter, and drop the opacity when you're done. I'm gonna leave it around 50%. Alright, let's edit the color of it, because we have light, like yellow background, and we need to make sure this tiger is too white. He's too white now, so I'm gonna create a color balance here, and make sure to press this and add some red and yellow to it, so it blends better together, like that. Let's see. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. Let's edit this brick wall again. It also needs some dodge and burn here, so I'm gonna create a new layer on top of everything in this brick wall folder, and create a clipping mask. Go to edit fill again, and 50% gray. Change it to overlay again, and let's do some burn here, especially this side. Start off with highlights again. I also want to make this edge a little bit darker, not too much. This is too much, so just a little bit, like that. Now let's do some midtones here. Just brush like random parts on the left side of it, so I can create some shadows. Right, this needs to be a little bit more down, like that. Alright, let's edit this color. I need a little bit more yellow to it. Select the shadows here and give it some yellow. That's better. And I want to make sure this top part is a little bit lighter. It's a little bit too dark now, so I'm gonna select this curves layer and get rid of some parts here. Alright, this looks okay for now. Now let's import the photo. So I got this photo and already removed the background here. And we need to put this above all the other layers. Make a smart object and resize this. I'm gonna make sure it fits this image. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna transform this. But if you use your own photo, you just need to check how it looks best. So I think this is better for this one. And What I'm gonna do here really depends on my photo itself. So if you have a different photo, just try to do, well, not exactly the same, but a little bit the same as what I do. So this was before the burn tool and this is after. Some nice shadows now. I'm gonna do it a little bit more. Right now I need to create some shadow behind me here, so I'm gonna create a new layer underneath my on layer here, and let's pick a black brush or dark brown here, like this brick, but really dark brown. Change the blending mode to multiply, and let's brush, and we can drop the opacity and flow all the way down. Right, I'm gonna edit the levels here of myself a little bit, so I can make this, it's like a little bit grayish. I want to have it more black, so as you can see it's changed this image like that. Alright, let's create some lighting here. Let's create a new layer on top of everything, and I'm gonna select something yellowish, and you can use a normal brush here, just a soft iron brush, and let's make this dot. Let's put this somewhere there and change the blending mode to overlay, and now we can move this around to see where it fits best. I think something like this. Let's duplicate this layer. You can press Command or Control J, and now we can add some lighting here. So overlay is maybe a little bit too much here, so you can also use soft light. And this time I'm gonna create a clipping mask on my own layer. So you can try soft light or overlay, it really depends on your own photo. And let's duplicate this. Let's make another one. Just gonna duplicate this a couple of times and place it around the image. I forgot to make some areas lighter here, so I'm gonna do some dodge again and make some areas lighter on my own photo. So make a 50% gray layer again, change the blending mode to overlay, and do some dodge. Right, let's add some more lighting here. So I'm gonna create like a hotspot, or I don't know what it's called, just a place where the light is coming from, because we don't have that yet. And I'm gonna pick something like really yellowish like this and make this here. And this time I'm gonna change the blending mode to screen. You can also do some levels here on this wall to make it a little bit darker. Now this edge here of myself doesn't look right, so I'm just gonna brush that. I'm gonna rasterize this layer, and let's blur this out. You can first like use the eraser tool here to get rid of this. Also forgot these pieces, but I will remove that later. Alright, let's get the lighting right here. Create a gradient on top of everything. And select black to white. Make sure it's a radial gradient and reverse this. Press OK and change the blending mode to overlay. And now I'm going to make sure it's somewhere in the center of this image. Alright, I'm not so happy about this background here. I want to change that, so I found this one. Gonna use this one instead of this one, but if you like this one better, you can use that one. So I'm gonna go on from here and think this one looks better. And let's make a smart object here again, and need to blur this out again. So I want to use this sunset lighting. I think it looks pretty cool. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna run this in Lightroom to get some more nice colors and lighting. Okay, so I saved this image as a PNG file and I got this open in Lightroom. And if you want to get these presets, you can check the link in the description. I really suggest you get these. These are really cool to improve your artwork. And what I'm gonna do now is just apply one or a couple of these presets, and as you can see, it immediately changes the whole image. Looks a lot cooler now. And I have a Dutch version of Lightroom, but it doesn't matter because I'm gonna do only a little bit of changes, not much. So I think this color here looks really cool, so I'm gonna click on that preset and drop the exposure slightly. This is fine. I'm gonna export this, and so I have one file now of this design, and I'm also gonna use another preset for the lighting. So I'm gonna use this one for the color and another one for the lighting. So I usually what I do is use the first one for the lighting, and now just select this and move this around because we have lighting on the right side, so I want to make sure it's a little bit like that. And that's it. Now I have two files, maybe a little bit less color here. Now I have two files. I will export this also and make sure to use unique names. And to be sure, I'm gonna make another one. And also this one. So I've created three files and I'm gonna open them up again in Photoshop. Right, so I got this one, and this one. Three files. This one I'm gonna use for the color. So I'm gonna copy that and put it above all the other layers. And change here to color. And let's drop the opacity because it's a little bit too much now. Just around 50%. Now I'm gonna use this one for the lighting, put it above these layers, and also drop the opacity here. Maybe around 70% like this, and not sure if I need this one, but I'm gonna try it anyways. So maybe a little bit of that one. Alright, only thing I have to do now is do some curves here. So create a curves layer, and let's make this black, darker black, a little bit more midtones, lighting, and don't need to do the highlights here. Alright, next one is edit the red. It's a little bit too red now, so I can bring this slightly down. Try the green, like that, just a little bit, and some blue. So these are just little changes that I do to make it even better. And now we can also try some color balance here. Maybe a little bit of blue and red. Alright, this looks pretty cool already, I think. So let me show you. This was before Lightroom and this is after. Looks a lot cooler now. And you can do some extra lighting here if you want. So let me try that. Because we have the sunset here and make a little bit more lights. Change it to screen and let's create some lighting there. Let's duplicate this and change blending mode to overlay. Or you can leave it like that if you want. It really depends on what you like. So thanks for watching. This was the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos, and see you on the next one.